Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cigar Sundays today. It's a very special episode because we have multiple guests. I'm going to allow you guys to introduce yourself, please.
Alright guys, my name's Gabriel. I'm an online fitness coach who's recently come to coach some of me. My good friend Jamie will now introduce himself.
Yeah, my name's Jamie Barker. I'm also an online fitness coach and also do fitness social media content creation.
Yeah, we did a vlog together as well, which is on the channel as well.
Deltoid destruction.
Deltoid destruction.
Absolutely fucking demolished my delts, and for probably 4 days after, my shoulders were just completely fucking destroyed. So that was no joke. But how do you guys know each other? Because obviously you've both come out here. You're both doing the same business model as well, which is cool. And you're living together. How did you guys initially meet?
So we went to the same secondary school. So I think we first met each other in year 8. We had like circus classes. So it basically was that's just a word for like classes that you have to do DT, art, and music with, drama. I think the first time we met was in a drama class.
Really?
Do you remember?
No.
Me, you, Sam Harborne.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, and we met in a drama class and Gabe was the man, so me and Sam, we made our way over, and we basically just became pretty good mates in year 8 just through school.
What made Gabe the man?
I don't know.
Answer wisely.
Yeah, you say. Why do you think you were the man?
I don't know. No, we all just got on year 8, met each other, knew each other all through school, and then stayed pretty close until obviously uni. I went to Sheffield. Jamie over there went to Nottingham. Still fairly in touch, but then obviously doing similar things towards the back end of the year. Jamie had been doing it for a long time. I just got into it, was asking a bit of advice. We both kind of got back and then started working together and then made the decision. Let's go to Thailand.
We actually, the story went, we went on a run club in, I think it was only January. So we
started Jan,
we met on a train. We met on a train at like 7:30 a.m. Went into London together to do a run club on Oxford Street at 8 a.m. And Gabe just mentioned, I might go to Thailand, and I thought, I could do that as well. It was just a throwaway comment.
It's a random comment.
And what was it? And then you booked a flight to go to Bangkok 3 days before I was leaving to go to Bali. And now we're here.
Oh, damn. Okay, so like you didn't initially plan to actually travel out here together.
No. So I spent a month in Bali before us meeting and doing those.
Holy fuck. So you guys seem to continually divulge paths because you went to school together, but then from my understanding you like grew apart because you went to different unis, but then you came back together and you were both doing fitness coaching, same, and you met up again coming out to Thailand.
Yeah, weird how that works. You just drift off and come back. I mean, when you've got similar interests or you're on a similar path, you kind of stick closer to those sorts of people. Right?
We didn't know a lot of people doing a similar thing, and I remember I basically had been making content for like a few years before. This is before the online coaching days, and Gabe started making a bit of fitness content, and he just reached out to me and was like, got any advice? Gave him a little bit of advice, and then again we kind of stopped speaking for a while because we weren't quite doing the same thing. And I remember, we got a session in about September time?
Yeah,
we got a session in at home.
Yeah, I remember you had no idea what my physique was. I looked like. He personally said to me, massive.
I hadn't actually met, so we've been speaking online about coaching, but I don't think I'd actually seen you. It was since first year of uni, I reckon. So I hadn't seen you in about 2.5 years.
I was probably at this time. I was pretty skinny.
Like nothing the uni days, fucking baked bean diet and shit like that.
I was like 60 kg, and then I think when I met him, I was like sitting at 77. So
okay.
Oh yeah, you were peak bulk.
Yeah, I was a little bit chunky, but it was all for a good cause.
Are there any differences between, because you're both technically offering the same thing, but obviously the vehicle differs, so what would you say is like the main differences between what both of you offer?
Good question.
The offer itself, I would say, is pretty much the same. I mean, I focus a little bit more on hybrid coaching, so that simply just means, it basically means running but that being said, running as well as lifting, but that being said, Gabe does a lot of running himself, so if someone was to say, can you give me a running plan, he'd equally be able to throw it together. But mine more selling, the marketing is very much revolved around running and lifting, but ultimately the package is all the same. His might be a bit more just to focus on lifting, mine has lifting and running on.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like Jamie's more kind of race orientated, like running, like speed. Me personally is like just for discipline. I enjoy the thought of running. I don't really care not so much about the time, just getting it done. So, I help people with lifting and running, getting in whatever shape you need. Jamie's more like hybrid, like if you want a certain 5k time.
Yeah, it's normally people coming to me for certain 5k times to run a half marathon, because I think with that, there's a lot more vision on it. There's a lot more goals. When it comes to lifting, ultimately you're chasing an endless goal, and I think a lot of young guys really struggle with that. Sure, both of you, myself included, I've had the same where you look in the mirror and you're just chasing that endless goal. And where with running, you can actually go for a certain time, certain placing in a race, and it's quite nice to actually have a tangible goal, which I mean a lot of guys are actually like.
That is interesting. I've never thought of it that way. Like, you're right, actually, that doesn't seem to, like, you don't start bodybuilding and then there's like an end point, really, is it?
No, even the guys who compete at the top level, guys who are IFBB pros, they'll want to then go to the next level and the next level. Obviously, you've got Chris Bumstead, who's won the Olympia 5 times, but apart from that,
he's got like body dysmorphia, hasn't he?
Oh, bro, everyone does. Everyone wants to start it. Yes, it's GG.
GG.
The goalposts constantly get moved. Like, you're never really happy. But I think over time you can get better at it. You can just look at like old photos. That really helps. Look at old photos. And go, hang on, like, I've grown a bit. It's when you see yourself in the mirror every single day. It's just like you can get that body dysmorphia, I guess.
What would you guys say to someone who's struggling with like the limiting belief of like, oh, I don't have like the genetic blueprints and the foundations to get to like a really good level with bodybuilding and like just getting fit in general, you know, like, oh, for example, a big pain point people have is like, oh, they're not sure if they can ever have like a 6-pack.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, to answer a 6-pack, everyone can possibly have a 6-pack. It's just simply losing a certain amount of body fat to get to that level.
But I've seen like UFC fighters who are shredded, dialed, they've done a fucking weight cut to get into their weight class, and they don't have like the visible 6-pack.
So maybe that comes down to either they need to trade a little bit more hours for definition, or they might even need to lose a little bit more body fat. They've got shredded in all areas, and this part just hasn't caught up to them. Because at the end of the day, if you are a certain percentage body fat, the muscle has to show up at whatever point. And everyone who is lifting, even if they're not training abs, is building their abs, because your abs is what stabilizes you with whatever movement you do. The reason you can hold the bar on a bench press is because your abs are permitting that to happen. So as long as you lose body fat, that will be the case. But I think to answer your question, it's about trying to focus on like hitting your potential and not setting an unrealistic goal. If you only focus on like what's the best I could do for my physique, then you don't really think too much about the genetic limitations. You're just trying to be the best version of yourself. You try and be C-dumb, then you're gonna never be happy inside. I guess that's what I'd say.
You get that a lot nowadays, because obviously I spend a lot of time speaking to these guys who have these like sort of limiting beliefs, and I think it's just like very amplified by like Instagram, social media.
Oh,
it's, like,
bro, sure. I mean, out there also, you know, I don't know how much you know about this, but there are all these fake natties on the internet. So people who are taking PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, right? And yeah, a lot of them fake natties. So it means they basically say that they're natural when they're not. But then you also get the people who are on, they are on steroids, but they don't speak about it. It is known to people who are in the know of the fitness industry. Okay, let's take for example the Olympia athletes. In the Olympia, every single athlete is on steroids. I'd say. Oh, bro, 100. But
it's the level player.
Pretty much every IFBB pro.
Is it not like regulated?
No, not at all. But it's steroids are in most countries or illegal to sell at least, so you can't say that it's not like you're allowed to take them. I believe it's just undrug tested, right?
I see.
So
it's assumed everyone.
What I'm trying to say is 50% of blokes will not realise that the Olympia athletes are on steroids, and they'll think, well, if he looks like that and I look like this and these are my genetics, I just don't have what it takes. Right, but you're not realising that they're taking a hell of a lot of substances. And that's social media for you, though.
Are you guys big on like the Natty proponent of things, or are you more like, you do whatever you work
so
for you? That's fine.
In my opinion, I competed in a bodybuilding show last year, so I spent a little bit of time in the bodybuilding world and the bodybuilding scene. So, like I said, to be an IFBB pro, just to get a pro card, okay. Which is ultimately the end goal to be a bodybuilder, you basically need to be taking substances. You can get a natural pro card, but then from there, there's only so much you can do, right? And I believe if you genuinely are in love with the sport and that's all you care about is getting a pro card, then I think that's fine to take steroids, right? Because you are doing that for the ultimate goal. Any other reason, in my opinion, I don't see the purpose in it. The impacts that it has on your health, just so you can look a bit better.
It's a bit of an ego thing.
It's an ego thing, exactly.
You're trying to look as the best as possible to impress people at the sacrifice of your own health. It's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't dabble, because once you start that, you can never really stop, because your body stops producing testosterone. It stops producing
testosterone, but also, I mean, people don't realise, and I can't speak too much on it hugely, because obviously I haven't taken it myself and I haven't been around that many people that have taken it. but the effects, it's so much more than physical. It's the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Look, let me paint you this picture, Sam. Let's say for 10 weeks, every single week, your lifts go so much more up. You're gaining so much more muscle. Every time you look in the mirror every day, you're feeling tenfold more confident. Suddenly you stop taking steroids and that stops. Your mental health will rapidly decline.
Yeah.
And then you'll think, fuck, I need to get right.
No,
and then you'll think, I need to get back on the
Yeah,
steroids.
do more.
The mental side effects are huge.
I've definitely heard that as well. Like someone's like, oh yeah, I'll do one cycle. I'll just do one cycle.
Everyone speaks about that.
Just one cycle, and then they do it,
thing.
and then they feel like a fucking demigod, and they're like, holy shit, this is awesome, and then they get off it, and they're like,
I think some people like underestimate this. You can increase your testosterone naturally. I mean, people completely outline it. I think I posted a video once. I was like, "This is how you increase your testosterone." I mean, everyone just assumes steroids.
No.
But there's things that you can be doing. For example, sleeping 8 to 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the biggest destroyers of testosterone. Getting 5 to 6 hours every night.
it's surprising how many people trade in their sleep for other shit. Like I work with video editors, and it's like really bad with those guys. That they're like, oh yeah, if I just fucking don't sleep and I edit more, I'll make more money. But it's like, well, no, because your entire life is degrading when you're sacrificing your sleep for this shit, and your performance in every metric, every single fucking measurable metric is getting fucked.
Do you know what social media I think brainwash people? Because you see so many of these clips saying you have to work 24/7, you need to always be grinding, and it's like you shouldn't be sleeping, only sleep when you're done. And it's like, okay, but actually, if you're doing that, like you said, you're going to reduce productivity, and it's actually not going to benefit you in the long run.
I mean, I think at the start, when you start anything, you've got to do the graveyard shifts, go into about 1 a.m. That's completely
Yeah,
normal.
but you still get your 7 hours sleep.
100%. And that's the most important thing. But over time, you realise, I mean, me personally, I stopped working after 9, 10 p.m. because I noticed those hours are just bullshit work. Like, I'm not really focused. My brain's done. So I figured, right, what if we just use that time to go to bed earlier, put the work to 6 a.m., and now I've just gained another 3 hours every single day. And that's like 21 hours in the week.
That's been massive for me recently. Like, I've always struggled with my sleep, not in the sense of I don't sleep, but I just don't have a consistent routine. And what I've realized is, yes, the hours in the day are the same, and this is what you hear a lot, like, yeah, why would I wake up the hours in the day the same? Yeah, but the hours in the morning are so much more productive than anything you do past like 5 p.m. 5 p.m. comes and I'm like, sun starts going to go down, like I'm getting invites to these social events. Oh yeah, come to this bar, come to play pool, and da-da-da. It's like you've got all of these new variables, and not only that, your brain is like, I don't know, it's hardwired. The sun is going down. It's time to wind down and rest now, and you're just not going to have as much competitive fire as you would if you were waking up earlier in the day and like crushing all of your work by, I don't know, like 12 p.m., 3 p.m. or whatever, and then you're sorted, you know. But I never really saw that for the longest time. For the longest time, I was just waking up whenever I wanted and just saying like, yeah, same hours in the day, who cares, you know? Yeah, I woke up at 3 p.m., but it's the same hours in the day. It's like, well, no. And I was doing that when I was fucking editing. Like, I was going to bed at like 4 a.m., doing all this bullshit, and then waking up at 3 p.m. It's, nightmare.
It's not natural though for your body. I mean, Gabe, I'm sure will speak a bit more about it. Your circadian rhythm, right? Sunrise and sunset. You know, we are meant to be going to sleep in those hours. That is what our body is meant to be doing. So if you're going to sleep at 4 a.m. and waking up at 12 p.m., you know, that's not natural.
Yeah, you mess up like the melatonin because it's regulated by sunlight, and then you got to see the sunlight. So your brain's thinking, like, hang on, when do we go to sleep? And it's always fucking dark. So it's like, what's going on here? I mean, going back to what you said, Mike Tyson, he said this once in an interview. He goes, he used to get up at like 3, 4 a.m. to run. And loads of people would ask him, why do you do that? And it's a valid question, why was not run at 12, right? But he said, you get that slight edge when you wake up early. When you know subconsciously that one's up, that one's running. And I think that's the benefit of waking up really early, so it's 5 a.m. You just know no one's up. There's no one really to disturb you. And also, you're just a lot more productive because no one gets up at 5 a.m., you know, feels tired, gets through it, and then watches Netflix. You know, you get all your tasks done. You do 4 hours, 5 till 9. And that feeling, once you've done everything by 9 a.m., like, in my opinion, it's unmatched.
Yeah, and all the motherfuckers are just rolling out.
It's like everyone's now waking up. Now your client's messaging you, and you've done everything. Yeah, it's like, yeah, come on, let's talk all this. All the problems start coming in, hit me. You know, you've done everything.
Yeah.
It's like, you wake up late, you're behind. And it's like, oh shit, I've got this to do, and all these fucking bathroom. It's like with pizza in the morning. Yeah.
How do you guys manage? Because obviously you're working like one-to-one with your coaching clients. How does putting a plan together for them look like? Do you have like a general formula that you follow, or are you more free-flowing and you actually talk with them through making their own schedule which works for them? Because I found a big issue, which I have it in my space with YouTube, is guys will speak, but they won't have any nuance to what they're saying. So they say what works for them, but they don't think about the nuances as to why it works for them. They speak with such conviction, you have to do it this way, when in reality it doesn't work. For example, people wake up at 4 a.m. and they swear by wake up at 4 a.m., wake up at 4 a.m. I actually tried it recently. And when I wake up at 4 a.m. here, the sun is still down. And I did it for like 2 weeks, and I just felt like shit. Like, I'd come outside here to do some reading, and it was just pitch black. You can imagine what it's like here when it's pitch black. I'm in the fucking jungle. It's just not a good vibe, and my brain was like getting all fucked up. But you get that a lot with advice that you get on YouTube. Yeah, there's no fucking nuance. So how does the process look like when someone's working one-to-one with you?
I think on the call you've got to assess their situation. You've got to realise that everyone's different. You know, you can't just say to someone, right, you're going to train 5 times a week. You know, I often say to them, so let's say for example on a 5-day split. In an optimal world, or in a perfect world, I say you train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you rest Thursday, train Friday, Saturday, and then rest on Sunday. Because often they'll ask me, when are the perfect days to train? And I go, honestly, that does not matter, because if you get too caught up on that, you know, there's no point, because I know that most people don't live in a perfect world. You can't live in a world where you say, I'm going to go to the gym exactly on this day. So I just say, get in the gym 5 times a week. That's the most important thing, if they're on a 5-day split, which they've obviously asked for. Okay, and then it's like, okay, then you can get to the next level. If they're living in a perfect world, okay, then you can say have these specific rest days there and then. And I think too many people get caught up on the minor things. So it'll be things like that, you know, clients coming to me and saying, you know, should I be taking creatine? You know, when should I be having my rest days? And it's like, bro, before all of that, train fucking hard, eat the right food, and you will progress. Then you can start looking at those factors. People get so caught up on the nitty gritty. My biggest pet peeve, and I was that guy, at 16 years old, getting your parents' money to buy creatine online. But why are you doing it? You're probably training at 30% capacity, and you're buying something to give you that 1% edge. Bro, you've got 70%, which you haven't unlocked. Unlock that before you're spending money on the little 1%.
You guys know the 80-20 rule, so like 80% of the results that you get is from 20% of the work that you do. So like, what do you guys think is the 20% of the work that you do in terms of fitness, which gets 80% of the results?
That's neat. Yeah, literally, well, let's say building muscle, right? It comes down to 3 things: training, or intensity, if you will, nutrition, and recovery. You only stimulate growth by training hard enough. So doing something that your muscle has not experienced before, so it's forced to grow. The next part is having enough calories in to actually facilitate the growth. So you've got to be eating the right amount, having the protein in place. And the third rule is recovery. You keep training, you don't let your body actually recover, or you don't get enough sleep, then it doesn't grow. That's the 3 core premises. You get all of those right, everything tends to go itself.
You hear a lot of people, I have a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, is it right that, you know, 80% of it's in the diet? And in my opinion, that's not true. Because look, if you're not training but you're eating perfectly, you're not going to build muscle. But if you're training and your eating's a bit off, you're going to build muscle.
You have to have all
I think
3.
People get way too caught up on the diet side of things. It is hugely important, but for me, I think the most important thing that I find needs to be changed, needs to be looked at, is your training. I've personally been training in the gym for 8 years, and I believe I've only been training properly or optimally for about 2 years. It's taken 6 years of learning, which is why I'm obviously, you know, an online coach helping other guys, because I've made those, not even necessarily mistakes. It's not like you've made huge mistakes, you're just not training optimally. And you've seen from how I trained with you, Sam, that was pretty intense, right?
Yeah, pretty fucking intense.
And if you do
That's
that
what you need.
5 times a week, every single week, maybe having a deload week once every couple of months, you can understand how you're going to build muscle, right?
Yeah. So what are the tenets to a solid Jamie Barker training session?
Okay, so I don't want to give too much away. If basically, when I do a client setup, first thing that I'd say is, first of all, this is basically my first message that I say when I do a client setup is the biggest reason that young guys, because most of my clients are about 18 to 30, the biggest reason that young guys don't build muscle is because they're not training with intensity. And I say, let me give you an example. The average guy turns up to the gym and they're going to pick 5 exercises and they're going to do a 4x10, so 4 sets of 10 reps on each exercise. And I say, 4 sets is too many. Do you do 4 sets when you train?
3.
3. Okay, so often when people do 4 sets, they'll leave something on the table, right? They won't
And I'll do a warm-up set. And
a warm-up set doesn't count. Yeah, I'm talking 4 working sets, okay? So I say 4 sets is too many. And then the other thing I'm saying, that I'll go into a bit more detail, is that if all your sets are 10 reps, the sets aren't individualised. In that set, say you've got dumbbells on your knees, you're not even sure whether it's your second or your third set. They all just merge into one. You're not dialed in, you're not getting the most out of each set. And essentially what I say is, the way I see that is that 5 exercises, a 4x10 on each exercise, you have 5 opportunities to be better. So I say 2 things. 1, reduce the set count to 3, and also individualise the sets by having different rep ranges. By doing that, you then have 15 opportunities to do better, 5 times 3, 15 opportunities to build more muscle. There's quite a lot of information there, and that's obviously what I tell my clients in more detail, but you can see what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so because I understand that there's like different types of muscle, and one of them is built upon like strength, so like 5 reps, and then another one is like more of an endurance muscle.
Yeah, I mean more. So again, what I say is, when you're having the different rep ranges, you have the higher rep range, which focuses more on hypertrophy, which is building muscle, and the lower rep range, which focuses more on building strength. You want to be doing both. All bodybuilders will do some sort of top set, back off set approach. You've basically got the top set where you're focusing a little bit more on the strength side of things, and the back off set where you're focusing more on hypertrophy, right?
Who trains harder?
That's not even a question, Sam, is it?
Right, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, we can get into a rabbit hole here, so...
You probably train harder, but I probably train smarter.
In your opinion. No, go on, enlighten the people what the Dorian Yates method is.
Yeah, so I've dabbled with a lot of different ways of training, and at the moment I now, which is going to sound crazy, but I really do 1 set per exercise. Because my theory, and it's based on Dorian Yates, a massive bodybuilder talked about all the time, is muscle growth is based on intensity, not volume, right? Because if it was based on volume, why would we not do 20 sets of bench press? Why would we not do 30 sets, right? There's obviously a point where you hit muscle growth. So the question is, how can you get to that point in the most efficient way possible? And personally, since using this program, what I found is you warm up to the weight where you know you're going to hit failure in that 6 to 10 rep range, and then you go all out. You have a spotter there to make sure you're going all out, and then you do a drop set to make sure. Once you've done that, it's true failure. If you've hit true failure, there is nothing more. You move on, and then you start to recover. And then you go again next week. That's the way I kind of train. And for me, that's worked quite well, because a lot of people say they do 3 sets to failure, right? But if you really deep that, if the first set was truly a failure, how could you do 2 more? Do you know what I mean?
But then Sam, so this is my caveat, and I know everyone trains differently. Dorian Yates are really well-rounded bodybuilders. So there's not a right and wrong answer. But I'm going to say, when we did our sessions, for example, those wire raises we were doing, crucifix raises, would you say that you trained failure on them to absolute failure?
Yeah.
I would argue you did.
Yeah.
And we did 3 sets to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. The only argument I have, and obviously it's completely different, you don't have to go for it, but I just think it's like, Dorian Yates says it, it's like shooting a dead horse twice. Like the horse is already dead, now you're shooting it. Now you're inhibiting your recovery system by doing a little bit more than you should be doing. Because my focus now is based on recovery. You only grow what you recover from, right? You need to stimulate growth through intensity, but then a big part is actually recovering. You have to rest to allow for muscle to grow. And I mean, I've tracked this. Like every single lift just keeps going up once I've been doing this style of training.
Interesting.
So it's an interesting one.
How many movements do you do on a typical workout?
I would say for each muscle group, it depends on it. So let's say chest and biceps, my go-to. We're going to be doing 4 chest, and then for biceps, a smaller muscle, 2 to 3 exercises, so 7 exercises.
So how long are your workouts typically?
So it's anything other than legs, 45 minutes.
Well, legs is 20 minutes.
Legs is 0. No, legs will be about an hour and a bit, just because it's just ridiculously hard. Like you need a little bit of a break between exercises.
Failure on legs, it's just next level, you know.
I haven't quite unlocked the legs part and speak to him about that one, but
you want to tell us about your squats.
Honestly, bit controversial, but I don't actually squat for a couple of reasons. One, I've just never agreed with back squats, front squats. I did pendulum squats for a while, but I genuinely
Sorry, which one's pendulum squats?
So if your back is pressed into something, and you're dropping down,
on shoulders.
And honestly, the reason that I don't do these exercises, again, any like gym guys watching this, if you know about Bulgarian split squats, it's known as the most horrible exercise that you can do. And the reason I don't implement it in my training is because I genuinely, if you train failure, which you need to be, you come out of that exercise hating it so much that you dread the next session. if you dread the next session, you're less likely to do it. And if you don't train consistently, you're not going to grow. That's one of the reasons Gabriel doesn't have big legs. Because he doesn't go back to the leg session. So I found, and I'll be honest, I've been training for 8 years. And even in the summer just gone, so about a year ago, I stopped training legs for 3 months. Which is pretty abysmal.
I've done that too with squats. I hate squats.
Because you just hate squats. So now I have found that ever since implementing a leg day, whereby there's not a squat in there, my main compound movement is a heavy leg press. Okay, so the heavy leg press still makes me. There's been times where I, got out of the leg press and felt like I'm going to throw up. I felt my heart beating out of my chest.
On that thing, bro.
Yeah, Gabe heard me screaming in the gym once.
Oh, that was mental. Yeah.
But it's manageable. Whereas if I did a squat, I know I just wouldn't come back to it. So I've got a leg program for me, which works. I know I'm going to come back to it. I know I'm going to be consistent training legs every week. And like you said, most 20-year-olds don't train legs. They make it too hard on themselves and they hate it.
I actually totally agree with that.
Yeah.
From experience, I forced myself to try and do squats. I've always struggled with squats, and my squats, I just never got fucking stronger on squats, even though I was doing it for like over a year, just never got stronger. And I hated it so much, and I think it actually caused me to just give up, fucking not do legs. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's leg day, but, I do some chest, man. Do some chest, and then you just don't train it. And I'm sure you guys would agree, 20-year-old, that the 20% is like, consistency, show up.
100%.
And if you're not showing up because you hate the exercise so fucking much, you're training hard, genuinely,
Exactly.
you're just not going to fucking grow.
Exactly, bro. You got to do things you enjoy. People ain't for perfection, but what you want is consistency. It's.
Do you do squats?
He doesn't do legs.
There are times when I've done squats where I've like nearly passed out because it just is such a demanding exercise. Yes, it's building your legs, but it's also building all parts of your body, which is great. But I came in to train legs, not my whole body. So coming into doing leg extensions, hamstring curls, that motivates me.
I do like 2 sets of squats and I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed. And it's like fucking 10 a.m. Yeah. And then in 6 months' time, I might be recovered enough to do another set. It's just fucking AIDS.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you still got to go to war on that leg press.
Yeah.
But it's slightly more manageable.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm
using your upper body.
Exactly. You're locked in. You've got some dark tunes on, but you're going into war, but it's manageable,
How do you guys hype up for the gym?
You're a pre-workout.
I personally am massively into my pre-workout. I believe with the intensity that I train with, and I think you can vouch for that you need pre-workout. And I actually don't believe that it's the energy so much. For me, it's the focus. I don't know if you could agree, but in that session, when you're training with that much intensity, you need to be so focused for that hour to hour and a half window. Do you agree?
I notice with you, when I train, I'm like a bit airy-fairy. Like I do a set and I kind of chill for a bit. Do you know what I mean? I'll probably chill for too long. But like you do your set and you're like, before I've even began to do my set, you're like, okay, bro, I'm going to set up the next thing.
Yeah, you do that.
I'm probably, throughout that whole session, I'm thinking, how did my set just go? What can I do to improve it in the next one?
Yeah. So your objective is fuck.
Yeah, but that's, anyway, taking back to the pre-work side of things, it's a focus thing. I need to be super dialed in, and that's why I believe in, pre-workouts. Obviously, maybe I could try nootropics, etc., etc.
Tolerance not go up there.
But I don't drink coffee. Everyone says this, but everyone drinks 3 coffees a day. I don't drink coffees at all. I mean, when I'm on my monster grind, that is a little bit dangerous. And Sam can vouch for that.
Yeah, monsters are fucking.
Yeah, they'll send you over the edge.
Yeah, fuck pre-workout. I love it, but I couldn't take it every day.
Yeah, but you take about 375 milligrams.
Well, no,
Go hard or go home, man.
To an extent, Sam.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Don't sit on the fence. Just fucking go for it. Like,
Yeah.
You in Success, you've got the little bottles of the yellow juice. The free,
the unlabeled,
juice, yeah.
the unlabeled fucking danger juice.
I entered that uncharted territory. I went for it once. Fuck me, it was something special.
Man, you don't know what they're playing that.
The base aniline,
Bro, you might not be Natty anymore. It could be
maybe.
Genuinely, bro, that's part of the reason.
Some of the best workouts I've had done.
I was like, it's a clear bottle, which they've obviously just formulated. I was like, I'm not going near
Bro,
that.
they've got like Osterine and shit. Like,
well, I just take the optimum nutrition stuff. It's a well.
I had the best workout of my life yesterday after I took it. I just took it, put on some we're talking like a bit of like, a trance, bit of hard style, whatever it was. It was just fucking popping off, a bit of SoundCloud in there. Mate, I was just wired. Just in my head, just bouncing from leg extensions to hamstring curls. Just what's next? And that's a more fun session in me.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that every day because then my tolerance. I'd be having to have 2 of those. And
you a big coffee guy as well?
yeah, I'm a coffee guy.
Yeah, of course you are. Because we were at the co-work and we were like down in coffee.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, me and Gabe, we go to this co-work here in Thailand, and there's a coffee machine, free coffee.
Dangerous.
Fucking dangerous, man. Never buy a coffee machine.
It's just like when you get to your break and like the subconscious thought is just like, oh, yeah, let's have another coffee. That would be great. But it actually just destroys your productivity because obviously what goes up must come down.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, fuck me, shit comes down.
Wide as hell, man.
So yeah, I'll probably just regulate caffeine intake a little bit.
Yeah. What about your guys' like development as a man? You could label it self-improvement if you'd like, but your just general development journey as young men. Like, what are some of the biggest barricades that you guys ran into on some real shit?
Oh, I like that.
That's a good one.
First thing that comes to my head, overthinking. I think a lot of people suffer with this. I suffer with it quite a lot. It actually led me to getting this tattoo right here, DCJD, which stands for Don't Think, Just Do. A lot of great ideas and things I've done have come from less thinking, more doing. And I think when it comes to business, when it comes to gym, anything, your brain almost tries to protect you by overthinking and calculating where could you possibly go wrong. And as a result, you sit on the fence, you question too many things, and you don't really get much done. It's like when someone wants to start a business, they plan everything out, the cash flow statements, all of this, what could go wrong. They don't start. And I did this for ages. I mean, I just figured, right, let's start.
What were you like sitting on for a while? Like, what was that pain like for you? Like, were you sitting on the idea of like making like the coaching business?
Yeah, like I was avoiding a task that I needed to do to actually progress. I was like writing exactly my 5-year plan. I was building a website, little that I didn't really need. Like not focusing on the stuff that really matters. But the minute I started posting content, started meshing people, started actually going to get clients and not really thinking too much. You learn as you go. Everything just, just comes to you. They say like what, path lights up as you walk it, right? And it's just that, in my opinion, is the most important thing I've ever learned. Just fixing overthinking, using your brain to advantage. Once you hack it, it just stays as a skill for life. It's like when you're wanting to go to the gym or when you want to go for a run, right? Your brain will just say all these reasons. Why
Yeah, but I've got this to do, and my legs kind of hurt and shit. Is it even optimal? Yeah, it's not that optimal, actually. I saw a reel yesterday, it was like, you should only run once a year, otherwise it's unoptimal for gains, man. So maybe I shouldn't run, whatever.
Exactly, and then
find a study and shit. Like.
The amount of times I've heard cardio kills your gains.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just
we'll get on to that. But I mean, the thing I've noticed is just like, if you just stop thinking about how you feel and stuff, and just put your shoes on, then run. Don't think about how you feel after. You're always going to feel amazing. It's like your brain is your best friend, but also your worst enemy. So,
how did you overcome that?
Start doing that.
Literally, that must have been. Was there like a bit of a fuck this moment where you're like, I'm sick of this.
Sick of this. There was a point at uni actually where I've always been trying to improve myself over the last 3-4 years. There was a point at uni which is really tough, where I just wrote everything I wanted in life, but no limitations, wrote exactly how to get it, and I kept coming back to this one point on how do I reach all of these goals, and it was simply take action, start doing. So I realised you've got to build the habit of stop being a talker, stop saying what you're going to do and just start doing it, and then the minute you train that, you just keep getting better, reps, and I think that moment, since I started doing that, I just got better and better at it, and that would really pivot to.
I think a lot of guys, they get stuck with that because they get the social credit for having goals. For example, I'll see, I'm gonna do this and this and this, and then people are like, oh yeah, that's cool, man, and then they get that sense of fulfillment from like, oh yeah, my compatriots think I'm doing shit, awesome.
Yeah.
But then they've kind of just stripped themselves of the reward of actually doing things.
It's like you already won when you told someone.
Yeah.
Mental masturbation, they say, right?
Mental masturbation.
You get the dopamine once you save the goal to someone else, like you've already done it, you have it. And now you should build a habit of being the guy who says they're going to do shit and never does it.
Yeah, and then that must really fuck your self-esteem. Because on the flip side, there's actually like a self-improvement type of strategy where Funny Bald Man is he's big on like saying what you're going to do, because then you're verbalizing it into the world, and then people are expecting that of you.
McGregor says it a lot as well.
Yeah.
This is the thing, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. There is no fixed opinion.
It's a tool in your toolbox, I like to think. I've got a toolbox full of tools.
Yeah.
And sometimes I might need this tool, and it fits my problem here.
Got to know when to use it in the right circumstances.
Yeah, but then sometimes you can't use it for the problem that you're facing.
You have to have a few reps under the belt before you start dropping, I'm going to do this, and then just it magically happening. Like, I think you need to build the confidence. Just being the guy that says, I'm going to do this, I get that. And eventually when you get good at it, you can actually start visualising things happening.
Yeah.
Then you can do like McGregor, okay, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. Yeah. That's just visualisation, man. It's a whole different ballgame.
Visualization, manifestation. Are you guys big on that?
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Yeah.
I was at a point, I mean, this is a while back, but I was at a point when I was sitting in my room at uni, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was studying a business degree. I knew I was going to have to go and get a job in an office, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. And I went and I spoke to my mate, because we set up a joint account together, and I spoke to him in the gym, and we went, I manifested that dream. I said, you know, in less than a year, we could be on 50,000 followers. There were people doing a similar thing around us who we followed on social media.
So a joint account on Instagram,
And TikTok, yeah.
TikTok, yeah.
And you know, there were people around us doing the same thing. We followed, and we said we'll be friends with them in the future because they're doing the same thing. We'll be friends. We followed them. You know, within a year's time, my protein sponsorship, Gymshark sponsorship, friends with these guys, over 150,000 followers across 2 platforms. And you know, there was a time where I was standing in the gym with my mate, and it's like we were just manifesting this dream without even necessarily realising it. But it's that belief, and that made me fucking believe of manifestation.
How strong you felt about it, probably.
Yeah.
So you're on your solo mission now. So do you mind if I ask what happened?
Yeah. So essentially, I actually had a call with my mate yesterday. He had another year at uni. I obviously finished uni, and it just kind of fizzled out. There was no bad blood there. I had a call with him. We haven't managed to see each other much because obviously I've been out here, and we've said we're both going to travel next year together. We're going to do loads of cool shit. We're going to both fucking grow our businesses hugely again. It's going to be awesome. But it essentially fizzled out for one reason or another, and then I restarted my solo mission, as you call it, in October with 0 followers. Literally nothing.
October, so
you know,
that early, huh?
bro. Oh yeah, it's not been long. You know, literally nothing. I had a few clients, online coaching clients who I've taken over, but not a lot. I literally had nothing at that point, and I went, I need to make this work again, and again manifested that dream. And unfortunately, now I'm in a position where I'm achieving my dream. Bro, it's like I had to manifest again. I manifested, lost everything. Manifest again, bro. My dream company was Gymshark, and I got dropped by them. Do you know how shit that feels? I mean,
Tell us how that feels. Take us through that. Like, what was that? Like, you get a fucking email one day, and you're just like.
So initially, we got. Do you know what the way it works? So it was December 2022.
Tell us when you got the sponsorship too.
So I was sitting in the library with my girlfriend, and I got a text, and it came up on or an Instagram DM from Gymshark saying, "Hey guys, we love your content. Could we get your email?" And I genuinely started shaking. Like, I'm sure my girlfriend could vouch for me. I literally couldn't believe it. Emailed us. Do you know what was quite funny? They basically said, "Oh, like, what would your price be?" We had no idea because we'd never done anything like this. We ended up quoting way too high a price. Technically blew it, basically. So I blew it.
$2 million!
We looked up online. It was like you could put in like a thing of how many followers you have and your engagement, see how much you could quote. We quoted way too high. They never got back to us. Again, I just lost my dream opportunity again. I was like head in my hands, like, how have I done this? So lost that opportunity to quote too high a price. And then 2 months later, got another email being like, right, we want you to work on this campaign. It was the Power campaign, Power and Legacy, they're 2 of Gymshark's ranges. So we went and did a shoot. They sent us out some clothes, and getting sent a Gymshark package to my uni accommodation was one of the best days of my life. I've spent countless amounts of my earnings on Gymshark to be sent it for free. I've said this story a few times while I was out there. I used to open, I was sitting in my room and I'd open my cupboard every 10 minutes because I couldn't believe it. Seeing this free Gymshark, which wasn't even released. I kept opening it. I was like, rubbing my eyes, is this a dream? And then after that, they gave us a contract, which we just couldn't believe. We were on this like affiliate program. We were one of the first people on this affiliate program, which was fucking awesome. Anyway, 6 months rolled by doing that. And do you know what? I think in life, this is something which is so common nowadays. You get complacent. You know, you get used to things. Like, let's take, for example, if there's something that you really want. Let's take, for example, your motorbike. I bet the first day you rode it was the fucking best feeling ever. And I bet now you ride it sometimes you don't even clock that you're 100% living your dream. And
human nature.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's just roll forward 6 months later. Basically lost it, and it was like that was my dream brand, and I lost that, and you know it just sparked a fire within me that I had to prove a point to myself. I wanted to make something of myself. That was it for me. It sparked that fire within me. And I also did at the same time when I lost it, I wasn't training, I wasn't running really. I was overweight. Mentally, I was low. It's like I was in such a low point, and I'm now at a point 9 months later, and my life is hugely turned around. And I put that down to what people speak about here: manifestation, self-belief.
So
now,
just to be clear, so you got a bit like down and like overweight and shit before Gymshark dropped you, or was it after?
It wasn't as a result of Gymshark dropping me, but basically I did a bodybuilding competition. It didn't take it that serious. I did an 8-week prep, so 8 weeks of dieting, competed in a bodybuilding show. After that, I basically was binge eating. If I'm being honest, on the night of the show, I threw up because I ate so much food. The night after the show, I threw up because I ate so much food. I didn't eat a proper meal for 2 weeks. It was the moment I got hungry, I ordered the takeaway. I was living on pizza, cereal, chocolate. It was horrendous. I put on loads of weight, really affected my body confidence. This was while the Gymshark was fizzling out. But anyway, really affected my body confidence. And yeah, bro, come August, I was at fucking low point, if I'm being honest. And now we're just in June, and everything's changed.
What was like the flip that switched for you at that point when you're at that low point? Because I'm sure a lot of guys watching this, they might be thinking like, well, fuck, man, maybe I'm feeling like I might be in that low point right now, and I wanna flip that switch and like turn shit around.
No, first of all, I knew I needed to change my physical health. Physical health is very easy to change. I just went, I'm gonna train every day. I'm gonna do my running. I'm gonna eat clean food. I did that. I sorted out my physical health, and then at the next point, it was like, this is crazy. In October, so just over 6 months ago, or a little bit over now, I was visiting my mates London pub, and I went to them and I said, boys, I'm not mentally, but career-wise, I'm at an absolute low point. I've hit rock bottom, and they all went to me, you need to get a job, a part-time job. So I did. I picked up a bar job, and that felt horrible. Telling to my mates telling me I needed to get a bar job when only 2 months prior I was working with my dream brand, and I was the guy.
Yeah, that must suck.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me I got that job.
Yeah, that hurt. Being told by my mates, you need to look for part-time work. When I had 2 months before, I thought I was the bollocks. Like, you always want to be that guy who's like, people say, yeah, I know him. You know what I mean? And I always thought I was that guy. In my head, I was like, oh, people are going to be like, my mate's got Gymshark sponsorship. Yeah. 2 months later, bro, you need to look for a job. And I respect them, they would have mouthed me, and it was 100% the right decision. But yeah, it hit deep. And I'm so glad they mouthed me. And now at the time, they were still are my number one supporters. So, shout out.
Yeah, wow, okay. It's awesome you had good people around you, but you think like the flip that switched for you was like the ego being destroyed from the fact of like, wow, maybe I'm not that fucking hot shit right now. Maybe I need to get a fucking like normal bar.
Nah, do you know what it was for me? When I had all of that, I had the followers, like I say, 100,000 followers on TikTok, 70,000 followers on Instagram, Gymshark opportunities, all of this stuff. And then I lost it all when I realised, I took a step back and went, what do I actually want? I want to do a job that I love. I want to make some money. I want to be able to live off a job that I love. And it was as simple as that. And then I took the steps to ensure that I could do that. And that's where I currently am now. I'm doing a job that I love. I enjoy coaching people. I enjoy great content. I'm not trying to make silly amounts of money. I'm trying to do a job that I love and enjoy. It's as simple as that. It almost was like a bit of a reality check for me. It was like, you don't need all the followers, don't need all the clout. It's just about, for me, I can do a job that I enjoy and I'm happy, then that's the main thing.
Yeah, you feel much more aligned now, surely. Like you're actually like making a positive impact for your clients. You're doing shit that you love. It's giving you the freedom to live your life the way that you want to live it, and that's what it's fucking about.
Well, 100. Ultimately, this is what I often say. I think success simply comes down to being happy. For me, I say, I've got a girlfriend, so I say, to me, success is about me and my girlfriend are happy. To me, that's me being successful. It's as simple as that. And for guys without girlfriends, being happy. That's ultimately, yes, money helps to being successful, but that's ultimately what success comes down to. Happiness, right?
Was your girlfriend with you during that time?
I told her, so I didn't tell anyone about my TikTok. I told her, we weren't actually going out at the time, we were seeing each other. We were about to go out. I hadn't asked her out yet, but I told her 73 followers on TikTok. I hadn't told anyone, and I told her 73 followers.
How many you got now on TikTok?
Well, I finished with 113,000, and then she was with me every single step of the way.
So she was with you during the whole time?
Yeah, and when I told her I had 73 followers, I genuinely believe that 99.9% of people our age would have laughed at that, and she went, no, I believe in you. And, a year later, 130,000 followers.
A serious percentage increase. All we must
say. And then bearing in mind, I basically had to start from scratch again, and she's been so supportive the whole way, believed in me again. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And so just so I'm clear, you have the 113,000 followers on TikTok now?
Yeah, it's the engagement. I'm sure you've seen people. If you lose the engagement, they're basically dead. When we finished up posting, it was like getting 10,000 views of the video.
So that's on the Duo account.
Yeah, that's on Duo.
Okay. And she was she with you like during the time when you were like kind of down and shit as well? Yeah. What was that like?
Thing is, people who love you are always going to be ultimately supportive of you, right? They're just one of the best teams, so they're always going to be there for you, which was so nice. But every step of the way, she was there. There were, honestly, I don't think I'd be where I am now if it wasn't for her. 'Cause there were times where like I'd be like, basically those limiting beliefs. I really struggled with limiting beliefs. I didn't actually know the term limiting beliefs until I came out here.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. And suddenly everyone's like, "You got limiting beliefs for it?" I'm like, "What? What are they?" But yeah, I had huge limiting beliefs, and like she was the person who snapped me out of it. If I didn't have her, I definitely would have given up. Because having to start again, doing it by yourself, fucking making TikToks in your room every day, and she would snap me out of it to say, "No, you're doing well. You got to keep going. You know you can do it." And if it was a play, I would have been where I am. Because I struggled huge. You were living to beliefs.
That's an awesome story.
That is an awesome story.
Yeah. Right, boys. What are your biggest takeaways from your time in Thailand? How long have you guys been out here?
2 and a bit months. I've been in Bali a month before. That's a very good question. I actually need to think about that.
Was it your biggest lessons from Thailand?
So many.
Your takeaways.
My number one thing is about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Without a doubt. One of the reasons, and I actually spoke about this with my mate on the phone yesterday, the reason that Jimson's as our brand name essentially failed is because we weren't surrounded by like-minded people. We were at university, and I've seen you speaking about on the podcast with Jack, university culture in the UK is don't get me wrong, you've got very successful people, you've got doctors, lawyers, all of that, but that's a minority. The majority of people are spending all day drinking, smoking, doing nothing, all right? We were surrounded by the wrong people, and that just led to our failure. And out here, I've got here, everyone has believed in me, everyone has gassed me up, everyone's been interested in what I've had to say, and that's the reason, being out here, I've doubled my follower online. Shout out to Gabe, he actually taught me something which helped. So again, just being around like-minded people.
Yeah. Sorry, how long have you guys been out here?
2.5 months.
So you've doubled your following in 2.5 months.
I came out to Bali, I think, with like 5,000 followers. I got here in Thailand, I think, with 6,000 followers. I've now got just over 12,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something about here, like everything's just doubled. Like followers, like income, everything, service. Just being around like the right people, it's ridiculous because you're having good conversations about things that really do matter or propel you forward. You're also destroying all limiting beliefs, right? And I think one thing that we do talk about is like the ability to change as a person effortlessly because you're in a new place. Say you're surrounded by the people who only know you for the things you've done in the past. They will just label you as that, and then you want to become this new person because in order to do new things, you do have to change the person. It's very difficult. Everyone's just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" But you come to a place like this where not many people know you. You can be whoever you want to be.
It is funny how we both have known each other though since, like no one else here really knows each other, and then we just known each other since we were so young. I mean, crazy.
Put it this way: imagine you went solo traveling. Say you went to Japan on your own. You could be whoever you want to be. No one knows it, and you could become the person. You could write out exactly, visualize.
You could become a cowboy. You want to?
Yeah.
Become a cowboy.
And should have been a cowboy.
You can.
The world's your oyster. Get yourself a hat.
Just not here because we all know you're not a cowboy yet. But if you go to a different island, you can be the cowboy of that island.
I'm looking at the Philippines, and maybe I'll get into that. Who knows?
What made you? Because you're initially the guy who said randomly, seemingly randomly. Maybe it wasn't random, but what made you initially just say, "Yeah, I want to fly out to Thailand"?
Ooh, that's really good. Well, I thought about initially after uni wanting to travel. It's a classic thing. Everyone wants to travel.
Same.
It never ever appealed to me, especially after being at 3 years of uni, pretty much broke, just like working, spending the money on going out. I did not want to have to do another year of scrounging for pennies. So I was like, right, if I'm going to travel somewhere, I want to be making some sort of income online. And then that summer when I graduated, I was in a similar situation, very lost, unsure what to do. Brain started working, we started brainstorming, and I came up with this idea. When I said, okay, let's go to Thailand, for example, and work from there, make sure it's actually productive. We're leveling up rather than degrading, right? I didn't want to do that. So I then started looking at places, and obviously Southeast Asia is a big one. But it really appeals to me, Thailand, because a lot of like-minded individuals here. You've done research into Koh Samui. There's a lot of people that have come here, who've done amazing things, so that was really cool. And also, like, the way of life appealed to me, somewhere I've never been. And also, you're underestimated, but you can live a good life here for a very cheap income, and that's very important. You need to live beneath your means, and this place definitely allowed you to do that.
Yeah, and Koh Samui is actually probably the most expensive part of Thailand as well.
It's a lot more expensive than Bali, and Bali is expensive as Southeast Asia goes.
Yeah. Actually, I've heard mixed things about that. My other friend who's going there actually said Bali's more expensive than Koh Samui, but I don't know.
Yeah, I found it that here is more expensive. I'd say mainly on things like food, like you notice it here.
Right.
The price of food when you're eating out.
I might check out Bali at some
Well, you
point.
should go for sure.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You know what? The culture is unmatched. The culture is.
You know, I love this question.
Uh,
You love Bali.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the culture, bro. That for me is the culture. It's unbelievable.
What's the main differences?
Yeah.
There was one thing which really made me take a step back. So basically, everywhere you go on the floor, they've got these little parchments. These little parchments, right?
What is that?
It's like a little parchment made out of bamboo with a bunch of different little bits in, right? And I asked the tour guide when I was going on day out, what are them? He said it's an offering to the god. And I said, oh, well, why are you giving him an offering? So an offering to people grateful for everything you have. Now, if you go to a country, a place like that, and you see some dire things, like when you see the working conditions people are in, how much money they're earning, it's, we are so grateful to be, in the UK, right? You see some pretty horrible things, doesn't see people labouring on the side of the road, it's like barefoot, all into the knife, anyway, you've got all these people in pretty awful conditions, and every day they're saying they're grateful. You look at the UK, bro. People are making stupid amounts of money, lovely jobs, lovely houses, and no one's grateful for anything. All rude, miserable motherfuckers. And that just made me really take a step back and be like, wow, these guys, they haven't necessarily got it all, but they're grateful. And I just need to take a bit of that into my life. I'm just grateful for it.
It's like you said with my motorbike. Like, yeah, when I first got it, I was like, this is amazing, and then eventually it's just that baseline.
That's right. Most people in Bali, they're never going to be able to afford something like a motorbike. And it's like, for us, it's just a normal. It's like, we've got super grateful for these things.
I find that you've got to make literally a conscious effort to think, like, oh yeah, like, what am I actually grateful for today? Because otherwise you just fucking these.
There's a good way of doing it. But it's very hard to be miserable if you're actually truly grateful for what you have. Loads of people want more. It's like the human concept's always over. Expand, want more. If you're truly grateful for what you have, it's very hard to be miserable. I think a really good way of looking at it, which almost sounds a bit morbid, is write 3 things down you're grateful for. I mean, imagine if those things were to be taken away. Then you become truly grateful. So, say, write 3 things. Okay, I'm grateful I woke up with legs this morning. Imagine if you didn't have legs. Imagine you can walk down the stairs. That would really sink in.
You can bloody hybrid train.
You could have gone for your runs.
You'd be boned. You'd pass.
Yeah, we'll be fine. He doesn't train legs anyway, so it's kind of like, I still go to the gym.
But the thing
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Say like I'm grateful I woke up free today to do whatever I want. Imagine if you were to wake up in prison. That thought alone now really puts that in perspective and thinks, oh shit, I can actually go for a walk today. I can do all of this. Then it's really hard to be miserable. Do you know what I mean? And then once you're in that state where you're truly grateful, things
do you know about the thing of reframing it from I have to get to, saying I have to go for a run, I have to go to the gym, like get to go for a run, I get to go to the gym. It'll reframe you. Because like what you said, there are people.
Someone didn't wake up.
The gym, don't have the money.
Someone doesn't have arms to lift. It's just like you have.
You get to.
And it's a really good exercise every morning. Sit down in your thoughts and just think about what am I actually grateful for? You got family, you got a roof in your heads. You do so good.
What do your mornings look like, guys? How do you start your day?
Dave, you take this one.
So, in general, pretty different to be fair. But me personally, at the moment, I like to get up around 6. What? What are you laughing at?
Yeah, maybe once a week, mate.
Excuse me. First thing I do, straight in the shower. I'm very big on don't touch that fucking phone.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things. If anyone's listening, please take this away. When you wake up and you've had 8 hours sleep, you're fresh. Brain's just recovered. It's ready to go. It's a new inspiration. And then the minute you go on Instagram and you're just scrolling, you're just subconsciously downloading all this information, and now you're creating problems in your head. You've probably been WhatsApp. And now you're all muddled. But what if you didn't do that? You just went to the shower, you brush your teeth, and read 10 pages, started thinking what you're grateful for. All of this is good information that you can really process. And then once you've framed yourself, you plan the day, what 3 things I need to do today, what 3 things am I grateful for, then you open up to the world. That's my personal routine in the morning, and I think that's really, really powerful. It's my favourite part of the day. This guy, he gets up and the first thing he does is doing WhatsApp messages.
Nah, bro, I honestly, I wake up, I stand pre-workout, and I get to the gym. It's as simple as that. You know, when you speak about in the morning is when you're most switched on. For me, the most important thing is training. So I need to be in that gym early. And yeah, taking pre-workout, taking caffeine might not be the most natural way to wake up, but by the time I'm in my first set, I'm dialed the fuck in. And that's my goal, is to be getting the most out of that session. So it works for me.
Cool, man. Yeah. I mean, different shit works for different people, right? That's why I say, like, there's no one size fit all.
I call it the cookie cutter guide, mate. The amount of bollocks I've heard with just people selling courses or people saying you need to do this and do that. It's like, bro, but it's not a cookie cutter guide. It's not a one size fits all that now just said.
There's no nuance. It worked for me, so therefore it'll work for you, bozo.
Elaborate on cookie cut. What do you mean by that?
Cookie cut, the place where I get it from, it's like, for example, if all your clients sign up to your coaching, you just give them all the same plan.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's not like a cookie cutter guide. It's just a one size fits all.
Okay, I see what you mean, yeah.
Like, here you go, this plan, it's like selling training plans.
Yeah, everyone's different. You've got, like you said, the toolbox. You've got to use things. You've got to know when to listen to people, sometimes know when to disregard. You get better over time. And just like use things to your advantage, that empower you, and then create your own spin on it. And that's the best way. And you found, obviously, gym first thing in the morning, that's your routine.
Yeah, it'd taken years to find out that routine, but yeah.
Alright, so you asked us about 2 months being in Thailand. You've obviously been here a lot longer. What's your big takeaways from living here? How have you developed? What would you advise to anyone who's on the fence of moving abroad and just packing everything up?
So, yeah, very big question, bro. Because when I first came here, I was literally a boy. I was a fucking boy.
How long have you been here for? Less than a year.
A year and a half.
A year and a half. But
yeah, first time I came in, it was a 2-month visit, and then I went back to the UK for a bit, and then I went to Dubai, and I came back out here and I stayed here. But that first 2-month visit changed my life entirely. I came here as a boy who was terrified of the world. And to be honest, the first week I was here, I wanted to go home because I was just so horribly anxious. Everything was completely new to me. I had never even been abroad. Never been abroad.
You never left UK or England?
I went to Amsterdam 2 weeks prior to going to Thailand to try and warm up.
You never left the country?
I fucking never.
Some place to warm up.
Yeah, and the warm up in Amsterdam was, it happened, we had no idea, but it happened to be on King's Day. If you know what that is. It's the day where they all celebrate the king and they go out into the streets all wearing orange and it's absolute pandemonium. We landed on King's Day. If anyone watching this and they know what King's Day is, they'll know how funny...
Did you not have to pay like triple for flights? It was...
Yeah, it was expensive, yeah. But we didn't figure it out, it was insane. So we landed and the streets were pandemonium, parties, rave there, rave there, rave there. And we were like, well, go to the fucking corner store, get some booze, have a dance, and it was a great time. Then the rest of the weekend was really nice. But that was just a warm up to like come to Thailand. And when I came to Thailand, I was genuinely an entirely different being to who I am now. I found my sense of purpose. And I think before that I was very feminine as well. I didn't take any risks. I didn't take any responsibility. Being out here has forced me to take responsibility, and I've continued to just progressively overload that as I've stayed out here for longer. It gave me my first sense of autonomy because I didn't go to university. I dropped out of college. So I didn't have any sort of self-autonomy over my own life. Being out here, it's the first time I was living, I wasn't alone. I was living with my friend Hamza, but I got my own routine. I got my own shit going on. Complete game changer. Completely changed my life. And that's why I'm still here, because I'm a bit of an autist in the sense of like, if I go somewhere and I like it, it's like, well, okay, I'm here now. And I found that, I didn't even realize it at the time, but I built my video editing business to like over 10K a month in the UK, but I was working at probably like 20% efficiency. My home environment was terrible. It's a terrible home environment. Really bad mental health. Awful. Came out here. And I was like, wow, I could actually be a fucking machine here. And that does vary depending on like how you are, because some people, they see it as more of a holiday. So they might come out here. You guys might have come out here and been like, oh, well, cool, I'm in Thailand, holiday, woo. But you've not. Yeah. You actually dialed in on your business, and you fucking doubled your follower count and your your fucking revenue because of it. But a lot of people like come out here and they get excited and are like, oh, this is cool, oh, beach, oh, jet ski, oh,
Yeah.
right, chawang every night getting pissed and shit. And that fucks them up. I didn't see it that way. I saw it like, okay, weirdly, this is my time to be productive. You know, I'm on a fucking tropical island, technically a party island. This is actually a way better place for me to be to dial in and completely fucking change my life. I'm very grateful. This is the closest thing I have to home, this island. I'm super grateful for this island.
It's not a bad place to live, that's for sure.
Not bad at all, and I meet so many incredible people here as well. Because there's people coming in and out all the time. That is the worst part of it. Like, I get close to people like you two, and you guys are fucking leaving. Like, when tomorrow? Or
I'm leaving in 2 days, yeah.
You're staying?
I'm staying for a month or so, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, we lose fucking Jamie tomorrow, and that's something that shit fucking burns. I get really close to people, and then I have to leave. But at the same time, it's like, you get used to it, and then you realise we're all just men, we're on our fucking missions.
Yeah,
Jamie's
but still
mission,
mates, just because I leave.
Your mission's in Bali. Your mission's in Bali, and then you go back to the UK. Your mission's there, and then we'll fucking cross paths when.
100%.
Yeah, so that's just how it is. But yeah, that is like a rough part, because obviously if you were just locked in somewhere like the UK, it's national everything. If you're locked in somewhere like the UK, you're used to just seeing like same people all the time, and like you can lock in that sense. But I just find that environment so horribly uninspiring. And as you guys said, like in uni, but also just in general, most people are like very not switched on.
Yeah,
they're not switched on.
I mean, at the end of the day, the work gets done regardless of where you are, right? But the environment that you're in completely dictates how you carry out that work, how you feel, how you show up to the camera, what you post, everything. And that may not seem like a massive difference, but it really is. Like, I did 6 months of work in my room, just watching rain out my window, not really going to places. Eventually, I was resenting the thing that I was doing. I mean, you come to a place like this and you start to really enjoy working with people, going to new places.
It's inspiring being around guys who are obsessive over their own thing. Like, I get to hang out with you guys and learn from what your obsession is, which is fitness, and that's fucking awesome, because I don't have the capacity to obsess over numerous things at once. My obsession right now is content, so I focus on that. You get to mix of guys who are obsessive over their own respective things, and you feed off each other, and that's just so sick. The perfect example is like doing that workout with Jamie. I got to experience that because I'm hanging around someone as obsessive over fitness as Jamie, and that has a massive ROI over a long enough time span. I've learned so much about sales, and so much about crypto, and just a bunch of different avenues of business. I think what a lot of younger guys miss is that they look up to people who are very successful, such as Iman Gadzi, and he has his fingers in many different pies, let's say, and he knows so much, but you don't start off that way. You actually start off by just choosing one thing and obsessively getting amazing at that, masterful at it, until you can start getting yourself out to places like this, mixing with other guys who are obsessive over their own shit, and then you just feed off each other, and you become eventually a lot more knowledgeable all round. Mm-hmm. And that's how that fucking goes. And being masterful in many realms of knowledge like that is very helpful. So being in a place like this is just insane for that, because it's such a small island. The friction to seeing each other is so low. I'll go to the gym. I'll see fucking every time I'm in the gym, I'm like, I see 3 people I know. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, man?
I think, I mean, you gotta put a big shout to Success.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. to Success Gym and Hang for watching. We appreciate you for the pal.
Everyone, just to be clear, honest, it's a small island, right? Everyone goes to the same fucking gym. Everyone overcomplicates networking. Literally, pull up to the spot, okay? Go to the gym. Everywhere you go, there is the gym, okay? Bali is probably the wrong gym.
Yeah.
And I knew that, even though I've not been to Bali.
I'm surprised you knew that.
Because I pay attention.
There's quite a few. There's like wrong gym, Obsidian, Nirvana. But yeah, wrong gym is the one where I...
Typically, there's like 1 to 3 gyms to go to meet everyone that you need to fucking know. Because think about it. What does every guy that you want to hang out with and network with have in common? They go to the fucking gym. They lift weights, right? So it's like, yeah, just go to the place and find the gym. See, look at their stories. You'll see the gym they go.
Bro, networking is the most overcomplicated thing I think I've ever heard about.
Yeah, just be nice.
It's what talk to people. Have a conversation.
But yeah, it is very easy to just go to a gym and talk to people and then just meet new people.
Yeah.
But I think if you overcomplicate, I've got a network with
the other thing is that networking is it seems like you're trying to get something out of someone. Your goal should be to be friends with someone. That's the worst.
You're asking
Try and
someone
be
for
friends.
something.
No, not even that. Being friends with someone because you're trying to get something out of them. Just be friends with them.
It's like psychotic. It's insane.
But I'll be honest, in the business world in London, I can imagine if you went to a work dinner, these conversations would be fake as shit, and people are just trying to get stuff out of people. But we're in a world where we're fortunate that everyone's doing similar things, but equally really different things. So no, we're not. It's like you said, we're gaining knowledge out of each other, but we're not gaining like. It's not like
I'll do Jamie a favour and then
you can do me my editing. It's like Do you know what I mean? It's we're just mates and we all learn off each other.
Yeah, you definitely get that. And as you continue to like spend more time out here, you meet more people. You start to be able to like sense that from people as well, like the inauthenticity. Like I'm not really aligning with this person, but they're trying like a little bit too hard and shit like that. And yeah, you just get used to it, man. You get to like sniff these people out eventually. And they are out there. Yeah, they are.
I'll tell you what, I was just thinking, one thing that actually this I has to offer, which is especially important to anyone who's just like starting online, is you actually do have an abundance of people who are all working online, and that is a very like alien concept when you're just starting out and you look like all your mates have got jobs. Like, I mean, some of my mates used to just joking, so I was like, oh yeah, we actually have jobs. They were just like unemployed. I'm just like, okay, cool. And it's like brilliant. It's like, okay, I guess so. I guess I'm unemployed. But anyway, don't take notice of it. And I'm just working away. I'm obviously fortunate. I've got Jamie to kind of speak to about that. But other than Jamie, it was really no one. I was just kind of on my own, working, kind of just talking to myself, trying to figure things out. But when you come here, you see 10, 15 people all making money, online and helping people, progressing, and then it's just like, okay, this is quite cool. A lot of people are doing this. I can learn a lot of different things. This is definitely possible. If someone's done this, and I can definitely do it well.
Yeah.
If I have the information or I learn, and I think that's the most important thing. Coming to an environment where people are doing similar things to you, or even doing better things than you, and you just absorb, you evolve, and you learn from people around you, and surround yourself. That's good.
Yeah, that's why I advise guys a lot. Like, you should aim to save up like 10k bank account, emergency fund, like live way below your means. You want to do that anyway, but just save up that 10k and then have a plan of what you want to do, and then just book your fucking ticket. Don't even think about it that much. Book the ticket.
Get on the flight.
Yeah, get on the fucking flight. And once you get here, you've got all this anxiety, all this friction listening to this. Like, oh, I booked my ticket. Oh, fuck. Oh, I don't know, man. Just do it. And then get on the flight. You land here. You check into your Airbnb, and you'll be like, holy fuck, I did it.
That is a.
And then you've got all this fucking clarity. You've beaten the psyoping of like, oh no, I can't get on that flight. It's too scary. And you're here. You start surrounding yourself with the people. Suddenly, all of your limiting beliefs are just one by one getting fucking skull fucked and they're dead. Fuck those limiting beliefs.
You'll literally figure it out. Once you get it, you'll figure it out.
Literally.
You got no choice. You have to.
You have to. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're getting
yourself in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
And you figure it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're throwing yourself in the deep end.
Pressure creates diamonds, let's say. You know that.
Exactly.
And a good way to think about it is like, if you do nothing, nothing is guaranteed. But if you do something could happen from it. And it's just
the
like,
worst case scenario is just you learn a fuck ton and you see what life can be like, and you're like, okay, I know it's possible. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm going to figure this shit out now.
100%. And it's like when you look back at your life, it's like you don't remember the things you don't do, you remember the things that you did do. And it's sometimes the big ones, like just going to Thailand, getting on the flight, that you will remember once for the rest of your life, but will change the trajectory of your life. Sure. Because everything you did every single day led to you becoming a different person, and then that just, that saying, it's like when a plane's directed a certain way and you change your bearing.
The little angle,
it will end up in a completely different part of the globe. Yeah. Just like if you change your trajectory 1% every single day from where you've come from Thailand, you're just going to end up in a whole different place.
Like that.
If you stayed in your room for all that time, you're probably just going in one straight direction. Yeah. You've got to switch things up,
Yeah, I agree.
Flip the script.
What made you guys start online coaching specifically?
I'll start on this one, but
yeah, you take it.
So it's a good story. I'll try and make it fairly short, it's not too long, but essentially I was almost in a similar situation with Jamie, pretty different obviously, but I graduated from uni in July. Well, now, gone from academic weapon to unemployed. I say academic weapon loosely.
Honest weapon.
Yeah. to unemployed. And this is going to be a funny story, but basically in February before graduating, I booked a one-way flight to Ibiza in Spain because my goal was
one-way to Ibiza is kind of dangerous.
Yeah, and this is cool how this plays out. But I wanted to have a summer where I basically just went and lived abroad. For some reason, I thought Ibiza was a cool place. Maybe we do a bit of repping, right? All of that. I thought it would be good to learn better people.
You'd be doing fucking nose reps, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It would probably be pretty destructive.
That's what Mike Thurston and Rob Lips did. They both did.
I'm big into Mike Thurston. I watched a lot of it, and he said go and do something like that. So I was like, you know what? We're never actually going to do it unless we book a flight. So, I don't think I booked the flight. Do some research and realise you actually can't work in Spain because of Brexit, so that's not ideal. That flight's gone the way, it's absolutely fine. It's now July, I've graduated.
So you didn't end up going to Ibiza at all?
Here's the kicker, mate. So I then end up going out with my friends to a pub, and I get this email, and it's like, check in for your flight, so I leave tomorrow. And I'm like, oh shit, guys, I booked this ages ago. And everyone just goes, you should go. And I'm like, nah, I'm probably not going to. I go have a gym the next day, I'm like, fuck it, should I go? I'm like, yeah. I didn't have much money at the time, but I was like, you know what? If the gods accept this payment for the return flight, I'll do it. They did. And I was like, okay, that happened for a reason. So I now get on the flight one way, and I go for a night out in Ibiza. It was very loose. We won't tap too much into the details. But I essentially left my house at 4 p.m. I arrived in Ibiza at 11 p.m. I went to the club from 11 till 6 a.m. I got home and I backed my laptop at 2 p.m. So I did less than 24 hours. But the thing that was cool about that was I had an interview like when I was coming back 2-3 days later, and I was walking along the beach at 6 a.m. watching the sunrise, and I was like deep in my thoughts, and I said, you know what, this is what I want. I really want this. So I was like, okay, how do we make it happen? The brain started working, and I went back to Ibiza a month later for my birthday with a friend, and I went out, I broke my phone, and I had to walk for 2 hours. And essentially, on that walk when I was in Ibiza, I looked around at everyone, how they were living life, and I was thinking, I'm about to go to the corporate world, I'm about to do all of this, I really don't want to do it. And I didn't have any access to my phone, so I started walking, I got bored, I just started talking to myself in my head. I basically said, right, what do I enjoy doing? What do I do every day? Okay, I go to the gym. How do I do this in a position where I can come to Ibiza and work online? Okay, I start some sort of coaching doing this. And then my brain starts working, it's just like thinking, right, how do I start it? I listened to one podcast, and a guy was telling me about mentorship, so I go back, start signing up to the mentorship, and honestly that walk has genuinely changed my life. I realised, okay, I'm never going to work with someone again, I don't want to do it. And that time just spending time with my thoughts in a really good environment that inspired me, like just instilled that burning desire. Without my phone, I preach about all the time. Eventually when you walk without your phone, you get bored. You have a few stupid thoughts, and then you get bored, you start talking to yourself, and you solve every problem. And I looked around in a great environment, I said, right, this is exactly what I need to do. I had the gut instinct. And not 1 month later, I'd started it, and I said to myself that day, I want to work on a beach one day a year ago from now. It wasn't exactly Ibiza, but now we're here. And it all came from doing something, just going to another country, getting into a new setting, inspiration, and having that burning desire. And that kind of made me start online coaching, which is a funny story.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm big on shower thoughts, and I feel like you can emulate shower thoughts. I think the reason shower thoughts works is because you are not distracted. You don't have technology. You can't bring your phone in the shower unless you are a genuine nitty. So you've got a fucking bag that you put your phone in so you can use it or some shit. You shower thoughts. Being bored is a novelty in today's fucking world. When was the last time I was bored? I don't even fucking know. But I know for a fact I've had my best ideas when I've been bored or without stimulation, for sure.
You're never really still if you're looking on your phone. You're processing information. It's when you're not on that, and you can actually think and start analysing your life very clearly. And all the answers come to you when you just actually think and just sit down. And not many people do it. If you think about a normal person's routine, they're either listening to music on the train, on the commute, then they're working, then they're watching Netflix. Where's the time to actually just slow things down a little bit? And what chat you say? It's hilarious. All the answers come to you. You just have to spend that time doing it.
Yeah. What about you, Jamie?
To be honest, I got kind of offered coaching to me because I was in a situation where we had quite a lot of followers, so we had companies reaching out. Anyway, we started it, did it all, but roll forward to when I started it by myself. In the space of 3 months, I believe that I changed my life. I hated how I looked. I had no confidence. I wasn't fit. I didn't have any passion for the gym. 3 months later, I had this burning desire for the gym. Every day I woke up motivated. I was becoming 1% better each day. Physically, I was looking better every day. I was working towards lots of running goals as well, so getting certain times, entering races. I genuinely believe that changed my life in 3 months through hybrid training, whatever you want to call it. Running properly, lifting properly, and eating well. It changed my life, and I was like, fuck, if I can do that, help people do that,
What else we do?
I'm going to feel like I've left my mark on this world. Simple as that. I had a feeling when I finished a race, it was a trail race, so I'd only been running for like almost less than 6 months. It was a trail race. It was 23 kilometres, I think like 600 metres of elevation. Anyway, I placed 34th out of 365 people, right? I'd only been running 6 months. When I crossed that line, that was one of the best feelings of my life, because I felt like I'd worked for that. It was an unbelievable feeling. And recently I helped a client to have the exact same feeling when they crossed the finish line in their first half marathon. And that was one of my proudest moments as a coach. I know what that feeling's like. If I can help people feel like that, they're fucking happy. I'm leaving my mark on, so I think that's it, really.
Awesome. So you've got like this fucking deep sense of purpose with your work as well. Where it's like,
Sure, bro.
you want to like actually fucking impact people's lives.
Yeah, that is the best part about coaching, in my opinion. It's like you impact someone's life, who then impacts someone else. It creates this insane domino.
Yeah, the ripple effect. Yeah.
It's insane.
It's fucking, you got a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Honestly, like you're essentially doing that. You are teaching people how to become better, and then they're also going to maybe teach people what they're going to teach people. It's like you're just giving good out, and then good keeps ensuing. It's like,
I love that, man.
I'm responsible for that shit. It's just like, that's a real thing.
I love like the high vibrational ways of making money as well. You know, like you're actually making a positive impact on the world. Boys, tell the boys where they can find you guys on social media.
It's Jamie Barker _fit on Instagram and TikTok.
And me, Gabriel Roshdy, with an X instead of the O. Don't ask me why. That's my Instagram. You can find me on YouTube as well. There, we'll start pumping out some content. But yeah,
Awesome. Oh, fucking the gamer tag X in that.
oh, 100%. Just adds that edge.
Boys, it was a fucking absolute
Great podcast.
fucking pleasure, boys.
Hang on.
Yeah, no,
Let's claim that one.
I'll add a sound effect.
Yeah,
where it
right.
pops. Thanks for watching, boys. Take care.
Catch you guys in a bit.
Peace.